Thanks for coming to 1500ESPN.com. Judd, Zulgad, Andrew Krammer. The Vikings mercifully have wrapped up the preseason tonight at the Metrodome, right behind us, against the Tennessee Titans. Let's see, a 24-23 Vikings victory, their first win of the preseason. And Andrew, the fourth preseason game, absolutely painful, because you never see anybody play when it comes to, for the most part, important players. And tonight we saw very few important members of the Vikings play. Actually, Jake Locker and the first team Tennessee Titans offense started and ran a series because Mike Munchak felt his players needed more time. But Christian Ponder and company, for the most part, sat this evening.
Not for the most part, they did sit. There was absolutely no first stringers out there on offense. Even the offensive line was, Joe Berger was starting at center. And again, the wide receiver core, Jerome Simpson dressed, didn't play. Jarius Wright dressed, didn't play. Greg Jennings didn't even put pads on. Adrian Peterson dressed, obviously didn't play. So there was the exact opposite. The second team offense comes out there with Matt Castle, plays only one series, and then goes right out, and McLeod Bethel-Thompson takes the rest of it. So it was really just a reserve game.
McLeod Bethel-Thompson was 19 of 26 for 187 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 89.7 passer rating for him. Let's get to I would say the two key figures from tonight's game. Let's start with Desmond Bishop, who in the course of, 5 days, played a lot of football. It looks like the hamstring is fully healthy. It looks like the groin is fully healthy. He is going to make this roster, and I think the real question now is, will he be the starting weak side linebacker September 8th in Detroit? Will he beat out Marvin Mitchell? I think Desmond Bishop has the team made. The question is, will he be a starter? But he played a lot in the past 5 days.
He really did. There was no question to me whether or not he was going to make the team after the game in San Francisco, where he logged 8 tackles on his first try with that first team defense. Marvin Mitchell didn't even play in this game, actually, which was interesting to me because that kind of is a sign like he got the job. And to me, I don't see that at all yet because Desmond Bishop stepped up. He's been more disruptive, and especially in the run game. A little bit to catch up in the passing game with the certain zone schemes or man-to-man schemes they got going on, but that'll happen when you haven't played in a year.
Sure.
So it's interesting to me to watch that Marvin didn't play. That means to me he's going to be the starter of week 1, but we'll see how long that lasts.
So Marvin Mitchell, as you mentioned, doesn't play. I don't know. I mean, he started throughout the preseason. He was treated like a starter tonight, but it's not going to shock me if Desmond Bishop, if it's not week 1, shortly thereafter, gets a starting role, and who knows what could happen long term there. The other guy that stood out tonight, Marcus Sherrills, who did not play, didn't even travel with the team to San Francisco. His father passed away, and Leslie Frazier, and credit to Frazier, said, stay home, take care of your family, go to the funeral, you're not coming with us. That's what makes Frazier a unique and special coach. But Marcus Sherrills did play tonight, got plenty of time. He had a 109-yard kickoff return to open the second half for a touchdown on a play that looked like the Titans thought he's not even going to come out of the end zone, and he did. He had an interception playing in the secondary, and Mike Prefer, special teams coordinator, after the game said he had a fair catch on a punt in which he ran up on, in which he said he made a fantastic play. Prefer's words were, there was no doubt in my mind, there's no doubt in my mind, he's going to make the team because he's so good on special teams.
Yeah, and like you talked about before with Frazier told him to stay home. Sherrills even came up to him before the game on Sunday, Frazier said, I'm worried about this. Do I need to go in order? Because they were going to make the roster cuts down to 75. Sherrills was even worried about maybe losing his job on those cuts. So this game really shows that Frazier had faith in him, Prefer had faith in him, and that he really lived up to it. And
so Marcus Sherrills has a very nice game for the Gophers on a night across town at TCF Bank Stadium that his old team, absolutely, the Golden Gophers, spank UNLV. Injury-wise, we had a few of those, including a guy who's competing with Marcus Sherrills.
Yeah, Bobby Felder goes down on it was already looking bad for him when Rusty Smith completes a 50-yard bomb to a receiver downfield.
By the way, that's the Tennessee quarterback, for those of you who haven't heard.
The Tennessee Titans backup quarterback. Completes a 50-yard bomb downfield over Felder, and who knows if the injury happened before that or after that, but Felder comes up limping, doesn't even walk on his right ankle. Apparently, it was an issue solely with it just spraining it. He had x-rays after the game, and they were negative. So they've got away with that one. And Seth Olson, the scare of the night came when Seth Olson was down on the field for had to have been about 10 minutes, stopped the game near the end of the second quarter. Vikings player, the team surrounded him. They had to remove his face mask instead of taking his helmet off. They were that worried about it.
Immobilized.
He was immobilized, taken off on a gurney. You know, he raises his arm, so, you know, showing the crowd that he's not paralyzed, at least from the waist up. But then after the game, we just see him walk right into the locker room, kind of nonchalant. So it was just an interesting turn of events.
Concussion, you said?
Yep, concussion wasn't that interesting of an issue, or it wasn't that bad of an issue as it looked. So it's good for Frazier and good for the Vikings.
Let me bring up a talking point that I forgot to bring up before we started this video in the planning stages, but this to me is not a minor deal. The kicking game. The kicking game last year, Blair Walsh came in as a rookie and replaced Ryan Longwell, and was very good, Pro Bowl player. He's got a heck of a long snapper in Cullen Loeffler, who's been here forever. He had a heck of a holder in Chris Kalouy, who had been here a long time and had that holding role, and that holding role is underappreciated until something goes wrong. Tonight, the Vikings missed a field goal, a 42-yarder wide left for Blair Walsh. Jeff Locke, the rookie punter. Where are we at with him holding? Because this is among the little intangible things that we don't worry about until you need to worry about them. This one scares me a little bit.
Well, Prefer and the special teams unit are doing everything they can to make sure he's not going to be under that much pressure when doing it. They're running through him in practice every day with these holds, and I'm not sure if it was a hold on that issue with the
and it's hard to tell. But
it's hard to tell.
But there's something about the continuity of that unit that's not the same as it was a year ago, and you have to have that right by September.
Yeah, and when you get rid of somebody like Chris Kalouy, who's been in the league doing this for years, and one of the better parts, as you said, was him holding the ball, wasn't necessarily him punting. It looks like Locke's a little farther ahead on the punting game than he is on the holding so far.
All right, sounds good. Anyway, not the main news tonight, but the Vikings do win the game. They get a preseason win, and I'm willing to bet Leslie said, you always like to win the game, because that's usually what Leslie says, to his credit. Vikings finished the preseason with a 1-3 record, and now the real stuff starts. Final cuts are Saturday.
And Frazier had said too, he's gonna wait. Excuse me, he's not gonna make these cuts tomorrow. He said we're gonna wait until Saturday. There's a bunch of intense discussions, he said, going on tomorrow. So it looks like this game made a lot of decisions difficult for him.
Down to 53 by I think is it 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central? It's right around there.
Yeah,
so
Saturday
need to get down to 53 by Saturday afternoon, and then the real stuff starts. Preparations for the September 8th opener at Detroit. I can't wait to see some real football. I've decided there's nothing more painful in the 4 major sports I like. Preseason exhibition-wise, there's nothing more painful than football.
Summer league basketball seems to be better than this. Yeah.
Now, summer league basketball doesn't count, but an NBA exhibition game in the fall is easier to watch. An NHL preseason game is easier to watch. And baseball spring training people love. This is the worst thing to watch in the world, but it gets a whole lot better on September 8th. Yeah. I'm Judd Zulgad. You can listen to me and Jeff Dubé weekdays 9 to 1 on 1500 ESPN. He's Andrew Krammer, does a great job covering the Vikings for us, 1500ESPN.com. Also appears regularly on the Judd and Dubé Show, so listen for his work there as well. We'll be talking to you soon. Thanks for watching, and keep coming back to 1500ESPN.com. And now you're going to see my finger turn this off, and I'm not going to edit it.